In case you haven't heard the news yet, there was another school shooting, this one at a Catholic school this morning. 2 children are dead, 8 and 10 years old. 17 others are injured, and then the gunman killed himself after he gunned down, killed 2 children, and left others in the hospital. This is horrifying stuff. And, you know, one of the biggest questions that people have is who could do something like this? And the information that's been spreading about this person, the gunman, is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And we have some of that information. I'm going to share what I can with you on YouTube, because YouTube is very particular. They're actually shutting down. They're trying to suppress this information actively. So I'm going to give you as many details as I can, but the rest you're going to have to do on your own. So let's just lay out what happened first before we get to the person that perpetrated this. So this morning, 2 children were killed, 17 other people were injured in a shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis on Wednesday morning. The gunman, who fired from outside through the church windows as children worshiped, killed himself. So he was shooting from outside the church in and killed 2 children sitting in the pews where they were. And then, you know, left many other injured through the gunshots and everything. An 8-year-old child and 10-year-old child were killed in the shooting. Adults and children, including a child as young as 6, are among those injured in the shooting. Police said the suspect was in his 20s and did not have an extensive criminal history. We're going to talk about who this person is. The Associated Press, citing sources, identified the suspect as Robin Westman. The FBI, ATF, Homeland Security, the Minnesota State Patrol, and local authorities are on the scene. So there are 7 children at the Children's Minnesota Hospital right now that are being cared for from the hospital. Today, 7 children between ages 9 through 16 were admitted to our hospital for care as a result of the tragic incident this morning. 1 patient has been discharged. Our thoughts are with the victims, their families, and loved ones in our communities who are impacted by yet another senseless act of violence. So, sources identify the suspect as Robin Westman. Now, this person apparently posted a manifesto on their YouTube channel, and there's some other just random things that they had on their YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is now gone. Okay, some of the videos, although people did pull the videos before they were completely taken down by YouTube, and I can't play the audio from those videos, but we are going to watch some of them that are posted on X, and just beware that these are this is just very disturbing stuff. Okay, so keep that in mind as we continue going through this. So now we're going to turn over to X, because that's where all the information is really happening, just in general. Okay, the breaking news and everything does happen over on X. So the suspect this is from Right Angle News Network. The suspect in Minneapolis, Minnesota shooting at a Catholic school and church has been identified as Robin Westman, who posted a manifesto on social media just 2 hours ago. So this was posted at 11:37. So this person posted it basically right before Robin posted it, right before they went out and committed this horrible atrocity. And then on the gun, or on one of the magazines, it says "Kill Donald Trump," written on this magazine. Yeah. And this is the person. This is the person right here. This is Robin. Now, this is a picture from Jack Poso. This is just a picture of the Annunciation Catholic School. Okay, this is what it looks like on the inside. So this is a video. This is where he shows his manifesto and an arsenal of guns, and with like all this writing on them and stuff, while laughing maniacally. I'm not going to play any video. I'm just going to kind of scroll through this. Again, just turn off the video if this stuff is too disturbing for you. But this is the person that did this. Yeah, so he's showing off bullets, showing off all his arsenal of guns and ammunition with all this writing all over it. We're just going to kind of scroll through here. I just don't understand. Because I have kids that those ages 8 and 10. My son is almost 8 and my daughter is 10. And I cannot imagine getting a phone call like that. From Benny Johnson, what he's calling out is that this is tied to the transgender movement, okay? Because this person, Robin, is or was transgender, is male or was male, identified as female. So let's just read through what Benny Johnson says. The trans movement is radicalizing the mentally ill into becoming violent terrorists who target children for murder. The pattern is undeniable. Today's Annunciation Catholic School shooter identified as trans. The Nashville Christian shooter identified as trans. The Lakewood Church shooter identified as trans. The Colorado Springs shooter identified as non-binary. The Denver shooter identified as trans. The Aberdeen shooter identified as trans. The Iowa school shooter was a trans activist. Radical gender ideology is driving violence and targeting innocent people. Enough excuses, enough denial. The threat is real and it's escalating. Time for a national intervention. Now, I do want to say that we cannot cherry pick the data. We cannot just look at the hits and say, well, all of this is a result of transgender ideology. I think that goes too far. Let's continue here, though. So this is the manifesto. This is the manifesto that was posted on the YouTube channel. And this is just some screenshots of the manifesto. I'll read some of it out loud for those of you that are just listening to this video. Otherwise, you can read it on the screen here. But yeah, I've read through this and it's pretty tough to read. I'm inclined at this point, like, I know I said I was going to read it, but I'm inclined not to. I'm just going to leave it up on the screen and you guys can read through it if you want to. These are the different pages from the manifesto. But he's like, well, I'll read the last one. So he says, I love you all. I will remember you. Pray for the victims and their families. So knowing what he was going to do, says pray for the victims and their families. In earlier in the manifesto, he expresses how he's been dealing with depression, and this is like basically the result of everything that he's been going through. But he's like remorseful, is like expressing remorse. Like it's so convoluted. It's so convoluted. And then he says, I love all of you guys. Like, he also says that he's sorry for like the impact that this is going to have on basically everyone that's related to him. All right, so back to the transgender stuff. Minnesota court records confirm that Robin Westman, formerly known as Robert Westman, identified as a woman. This name change was legally granted in 2020. So these are the actual court documents of the name change. So, and this is just proof that this person is or was transgender. And I mean, what does this tell us? It tells us there's a very serious mental health crisis in this country. And, you know, it's not just related to gun ownership. It's not, because, you know, as everyone sort of points out in these conversations, guns don't get up by themselves and start shooting people, right? You have to have someone behind the gun, someone to pick it up and do it. And then in these countries that ban guns, there's still violence to, you know, knives and stuff, and they can still get their hands on guns if they really want them. So really, the issue is human sinfulness. And what do we do about it? How do we fix it? How do we solve it? And I mean, the answer is found in Jesus. And those of us that are lucky enough to have found that, like, we know that. But the other people, like, they need to know. We got to share it. It's on us, and we have to do something about it, because this stuff can't keep happening, right? And what do you do? Like every time this sort of thing happens, it's like, what do we do? How do we stop this? And then after a few days, the conversation stops and we start thinking about other stuff. But I think we need to take some action. Use this as a launching off point to take the truth about reality seriously. Okay, what is the truth about reality? Obviously, I am a Christian. I believe that Christianity is true. I believe that Jesus rose physically, bodily from the dead. And that truth affects every facet of reality. It affects everything. It affects the way that we view people. We believe that everyone is made in the image of God. Everyone is imbued with rights and is loved and valued. And this view of reality, I mean, it's obviously had a big impact on the world. Christianity has had a major influence, but the influence needs to be even greater. It needs to be even greater. So just think about that. I mean, think about that. How can we take the influence of Christianity and magnify it? How can we magnify the love of Jesus throughout the world? And that's something that we need to think about beyond, in a few days when this news cycle has sort of ended, and people are turning their thoughts and attention elsewhere. Don't forget what we're doing, like why we're what we're put on this earth for as Christians is to share the gospel, is to share the truth of Christianity, and do it. Like in your capacity. You may not have a huge YouTube channel. You may not have a big following on X. You may not have, but in your own way, spread the love of Jesus to everyone. And that's what I'll leave you guys with.